I listened to this podcast called Acquired, which my friend Justin Jackson turned me on to. And there was an episode about LVMH, which is the Louis Vuitton conglomerate empire that builds all these luxury brands and houses them all. And it's a fascinating story. And I'll link to the episode because it's a really fascinating episode. It will take a while to get through the episode, but it's well worth your time. What was interesting about it was to hear the concept of what luxury actually is and the distinction between premium and luxury. The thing about premium and the way it's defined in this book called The Luxury Strategy is that premium is you pay more to get more, right? There's more utility, there's more functionality, there's more practicality, there's more you can get out of something that's premium. Whereas luxury is you're just paying for something to show that you can pay for it. One of the examples they use is this idea of cars, right? So like a BMW or an Audi is a premium car, whereas a Ferrari is a luxury car. In that, yes, while a BMW or an Audi or a Lexus is more expensive, you get more utility, you get more features, you're paying more to get more. But with a Ferrari, there really isn't a lot more practicality, or you're not really getting a whole lot more in terms of what you would use a vehicle for with a Ferrari. And again, there's nuance here, but that makes it a luxury. So it had me thinking about time, which shouldn't be all that surprising. And there's the idea that some of us have the luxury of time while others don't. And that's simply not the case. We all have time. It's just there's different types of time, right? There is mainstream time, which is the routine, the stuff that we do on a daily basis, the going through the motion stuff. You could argue that's mainstream time. Then there is premium time, right? Which is like more intentionality, higher purpose. And there are tools that can help us do that at a higher purpose. There's processes that can help us make the most of premium time. And again, there's nuance here too, because what is premium to one person might not be premium to somebody else, right? Everybody's different. Even when business isn't personal, productivity always is. And then there's luxury time, right? Which would be things like maybe this vacation that is beyond a typical vacation, because premium time can also be leisure time. It's just using time in an extravagant or opulent way, I guess, could be the definition of luxury time. Now, I've really only started to noodle on this a bit, as a guy who spends a lot of time thinking about his relationship with time and your relationship with time and how to improve it and how to nurture it, as well as cultivating productiveness. When I think about time crafting and how it can help with all of those elements, those types of time, it really has me going down a rabbit hole. There's far more that I can explore with this, and I assure you there will be more exploration of this. There is this fourth type of time that I was thinking about as well, and this actually came from exploring the luxury strategy book. I'll link to where I kind of got a breakdown of this, but also just through a simple Google search, we started to look more into fashion, and that's where the Louis Vuitton story essentially is, right? That handbags, all that stuff is related to fashion. We hear about designer fashion, right? Now, what's the difference between luxury and premium and designer? Well, designer is more bespoke, right? It doesn't stand the test of time necessarily because it's seasonal. What is fashionable in the summer isn't going to be fashionable in the winter, and what's fashionable this summer may not be fashionable next summer. And time kind of operates like that. What's good for you to invest your time in now and spend your time on now may not necessarily be the way you want to invest it later or spend it later. So there are really these four distinct elements of time that I would love for you to think about as well. And again, there's lots of nuance here. So there's no black or white or left or right or wrong. There's just gray. There's just nuance. And so I'd love to hear from you your thoughts on this as well. What do you think? Is there this distinction between these four types? Could you argue that they cross over? Because I'm sure they do. Does luxury and premium time bleed into one another? When does mainstream time turn into premium time? Can premium time things eventually become mainstream? And what about designer time? What does that look like for you? There you go. These are the four kind of times that I'm thinking about these types, these elements, these aspects, these brands of time. Maybe sometimes you're going to get videos like this where I just am thinking and based on an idea that I literally got after listening to another source or reading something, and I'm going to take it to you and get your thoughts. Hope maybe you'll think about it as well. I hope you'll think about it. I hope you'll comment. I hope you'll subscribe, and I hope you'll work towards improving your relationship with time, because that's the thing we need to do. Not manage time, but manage our relationship with it. And maybe looking at these different brands of time is one way to do it. See you later.